There is a problem that mid-market companies have been living with for decades, and most of them do not even know it is solvable. They hold data that has real commercial value: customer transaction histories, logistics records, environmental sensor feeds, specialty market surveys, data that other businesses would pay to access. But there is no mechanism to prove that value to an unfamiliar buyer, no credential, no standard, no marketplace built for them. That is what Forge Agent was built to change. Most data sits in access databases and Excel spreadsheets. The people who own it know it is good. They have been maintaining it for years. But a buyer who has never worked with them has no way to verify that. There is no Carfax for data sets. There is no third-party credential that says this data was assessed, here's what it scored, and here's the proof. Forge provides that credential. Forge assesses every data set across 8 weighted dimensions: data quality, compliance, reliability, refresh frequency, governance, accessibility, business relevance, and sustainability. The composite score maps to a tier on the coal to diamond scale. Coal means the data exists but needs substantial work. Diamond means it is unique, defensible, and highly monetizable. Every score comes with reasoning. The assessment does not just return a number, it explains what drove the result and what would improve it. Every certification and every purchase is anchored as a real transaction on the Casper testnet. That means the proof is not just in our database. It is on a public ledger that any buyer, any auditor, any counterparty can verify independently. We deployed a custom Forge Registry smart contract on Casper. Each assessment produces a hash of the scoring record and submits it to that contract. The resulting transaction hash is surfaced directly in the platform. The platform connects 3 roles. Sellers upload datasets, receive a Forge certification, and list their data products in the marketplace. They see their own revenue, their buyers, and the Casper hash for every transaction. Buyers browse certified datasets, use the built-in price calculator, and purchase through an X402 compliant payment flow. Every purchase is anchored on Casper. Admins have full platform visibility, user management, the error log, and a data browser across every table. Let me show you how it works. Our first persona is Malcolm Gladwell, a data specialist at Beacon Insights, LLC. Malcolm has a refrigeration transport data set he wants to certify and sell. Malcolm logs in. The assessment starts with a file upload and a short intake form. Malcolm uploads the Southwestern Cities Refrigeration Transportation dataset. The intake form captures governance context that the scoring engine uses. Who owns this data? How often it is refreshed? What compliance controls are in place? Forge is not just scoring the file, it is scoring the data product. Malcolm is filling out the form to answer questions about the data. The scoring engine is running now. It evaluates all 8 dimensions independently and produces a weighted composite. It evaluates all 8 dimensions independently and produces a weighted composite. Silver at 75.0. The reasoning explains what drove each dimension score. Malcolm can see exactly what would push this toward gold on the next reassessment. Now Malcolm decides whether to list this in the marketplace. The Casper transaction hash is right here. That is a live record on the Casper testnet. Anyone can verify it. The dataset is now live in the marketplace, certified, priced, and available to buyers. Malcolm looks at the registry page to discover this listing is present. From this page, he is able to see a summary of his scoring. He then moves on to view the seller dashboard, where he can view his revenue and all his certified data, public and private. Our second persona is Eustace Haney, Operations Director at Haney Cold Chain Logistics, LLC. Eustace needs reliable refrigeration transport data to optimize their routing contracts. He is a new user, so he registers here. Registration requires 3 attestations: that the user has rights to the data they upload, that the data contains no PII, and that the content is appropriate. For buyers, this establishes their account and access rights. Eustace is in the marketplace now. The registry shows certified datasets available for purchase. He finds the Southwestern Cities Refrigeration Transportation dataset that Malcolm just listed. The certification is right here, Silver 75.0 with a verifiable Casper hash. Eustace can check that hash independently at testnet.cspr.live before he ever spends $1. He uses the price calculator to understand his options. The calculator shows cost per record, monthly access cost, and the annual option. For Eustace's volume, the per call model makes sense today. Let's complete the purchase. The purchase is confirmed. There is the Casper transaction hash for this specific purchase. That is a separate on-chain record from the certification. Malcolm's assessment is one anchor on Casper. Eustace's purchase is a second independent anchor. The third persona is the platform administrator. The admin console is gated separately from the buyer and seller registration flow. The data browser gives the admin direct access to every table. User accounts, marketplace listings, transaction records, and import data, all filterable and paginated. Thank you for your time. The live platform is at forge-agent-app.azurewebsites.net. The startup page is https://forged-agent-app.azurewebsites.net/static/login.html. Every transaction you see in the registry is a real Casper testnet record, verifiable at testnet.cspr.live. We appreciate the Casper team and the Buildathon organizers for creating the conditions for this kind of work. The marketplace you just saw operates on spot pricing. A buyer sees a certified data set, pays the listed price, gets the data. One transaction, one Casper anchor. The commercial version adds forward supply contracts as a third transaction type. A buyer and seller agree to a price band and a delivery window before the data is delivered. The contract terms are anchored on Casper at the moment of agreement before anyone knows what the delivery time score will be. Forge recertifies the dataset independently at delivery and settles the price based on where the score lands in the agreed band. If the score misses the agreed floor, the contract has a defined remedy. Neither side can dispute the terms because the terms were hashed at negotiation. Neither side can dispute the outcome because the score at delivery comes from Forge's own engine, not the seller's say-so. This is a direct application of the dual commitment architecture from Paula's published research. The party with an incentive over the outcome cannot be the sole author of the record determining that outcome. That walkthrough covered the full arc of the platform. Malcolm uploaded a real dataset, received a Forge certification with a Casper hash, and listed it in the marketplace. Eustace found it, verified the certification independently on Casper, and purchased it through an X402 payment flow. Both transactions are anchored on a public ledger. This is not a simulation. Those are real testnet transactions. You can look them up right now at testnet.cspr.live.